Good evening. Welcome to the Breakout Podcast. I'm Damon Nichols, and this is the podcast about self-improvement and being the best version that you can. I'm here with Jake Pruyn. He's my buddy of mine, business partner, training partner, gym partner.
And, geez, what haven't we done?
Yeah. So we're doing this is my first podcast as a host, and so the second one is the Breakout Podcast. So no better person to have on here than Jake. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff that we've got going on, some of the things that we're working on, some of our projects, some of what we've done, and kind of where we're headed, and some of the stuff in the valley. So with that, I guess, Jake, what are your thoughts on our newest adventure and what's going on?
I'm super excited about it. I think there's a lot of potential, and I think you go into every business venture, and it's always let's make a bunch of money, and that's part of it, because I think you have I don't know, you want something that shows value in all the hard work that you're doing, and we attach monetary on a lot of stuff of when we see something grow, especially when you're starting a business, that you want that to be, the reason why that you're doing. I don't know. We do all kinds of business, and we show value,
right?
More than just the money portion of it, and that's where, something like this comes up, where you're really trying to, reach a message out to let people know that there's a better purpose for your life than just that, and maybe starting a business, making money, and showing that monetary end as one of your means of showing success is
right.
Yeah.
Well, because it opens a lot of doors, and it gives you the freedom to do whatever, and so that's kind of the ultimate goal, is to be able to have the freedom to do what you want to do in life.
Well, sure. And I think a lot of times we slap the stigma of money, kind of causing evil and problems. But I think, with the lessons that you're trying to teach, with the book and all that stuff, that it doesn't have to corrupt you.
Right.
You can still go out and do what you want, but you can also make an impact and really help some people out. But we all know, and I think we can all admit that money helps.
Yeah.
We can.
It sure does change your quality of life. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And then you can use that to then better other people's lives and maybe push them in a direction too. Because words have great messages, and people do that and resonate. But if we can really actually get out there with some of that money and make a difference in our community, and regionally to statewide to nationally, globally,
right.
That's really the ultimate goal.
Well, that's where it starts. It starts on on a small level. It starts in the community, and I think we both, are in the position to make a big difference in our community. We both are successful business owners. We're landlords. We own properties, and we provide jobs for people. And we're getting into another area that I don't think either one of us has really, had very much. We've not gone down this road before, and that's in the e-commerce and the marketing and stuff. So I think that's we're stepping into a new field. Celeste was just telling me today. She was like, "Yeah, the other day when you were talking to Jake and about setting up the business and getting everything started. We've got the LLC set up and got everything going." She was like, "Yeah, he came into the gym and he had this spark and he had this light in his eyes and he was all fired up." And I like that. I want to keep that fired up, that momentum, and it's good. You want to use that to the advantage right now. So
well, sure. When it comes to gym stuff, I have a ton of knowledge in that, so it's easy when it's already in a field with fitness, right? So then we move into somewhere, and there was a learning curve. I'm sure when you got your first properties, there was a learning curve. When I got my first properties, it was a learning curve. And we're getting into a business that we know nothing about, but I think you reach a level in business where you just kind of have a foundation. So we get in there, and do we need resources? Do we need to ask questions? Do we need people? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we just kind of have this natural capability of just taking it. And I mean, you just have to rub the right elbows. That's really what it comes down to. You just have to, break out of that shell. And I try and teach that to the students. So if, for those that don't know, I also work for Goal Academy High School. So I work in a blended online school. It's the largest state-funded high school in Colorado. and we service probably 70% of at-risk youth. And a lot of times they come in and you can have some really great conversations, but one of the things that's always fairly consistent is sort of a delusion of grandeur, in a sense, where they just expect that all of a sudden it's just going to show up on their doorstep because they have this one great idea. And I think defining that landing on your doorstep of, there was a lot of stuff that needed to happen in between that. And I get it all the time. Oh, how'd you get all this stuff? How'd you get this sweet car? How'd you do all that? And it's like, well, I had to work my butt for it. I had to work my hands to the bone and realize that, it just doesn't come overnight, and that it's a lengthy process. And so we understand that this new venture could be a lengthy process, but I think the more that you're willing to sacrifice and put resources in, the more that you can turn that around to something really cool.
And asking for help and finding the right people that already know how to do it. That's the biggest part right there, I think, is, asking the right people for the right kind of help, and that, I think that's the coaching. That's a big part of success right there, is finding somebody that can help you, show you when you're in a field that you don't know anything about.
Well, I think I think our generations now are losing the idea of trust. I think the further that we go on, more people are getting burned here and all that stuff. So we've lost trust in things. And I think a really good lesson is just saying that, you get some people that are going to be so stubborn, I'm just going to run right into this and do that. And that may work out. That may be really great, but you need to be able to utilize your resources, because there's so much information out there that you could just be bypassing because you're too stubborn or arrogant or whatever the case, that you can just handle it all. And I think that's kind of what's great about us, is that we go into this business adventure and we're like, oh, we have no idea, and we might burn a little more resources than we might like to on the get-go, but if it gets us great contacts and resources and conversations with cool people and all that, we just want to make everything a positive interaction. And
and I think what's helped a lot is that we can work together at this, and it's just not me and you. It's our ladies too that are helping us too. So going into something that we don't know anything about, being, we're mainly kind of the ones that are setting the pace for the whole thing. There's so many things that if I wouldn't have had you and them to help, I wouldn't even be where I'm at, just in the short amount of time that we've worked on this. So,
well, I think we both embrace you have to be a risk taker.
Right.
And period. I mean, that's the whole thing. And we could go into a whole section on, what it takes to be that risk taker and really breaking that down. But I mean, ultimately you have to be a risk taker and not afraid to, really kind of put your neck out there, but logically.
Right.
Some will just throw a bunch of stuff out there and throw eggs in one basket, but can you ration that eggs where you're putting a large amount of eggs into something, while then you still have some that, if this doesn't pan out, or you've just done your research enough to know what that basket looks like, and knowing that, my potential return on whatever it is that I'm doing is not only just monetarily fulfilling, but also is going to be something that you're going to feel good about.
Right. And that's something that I've learned is you need to do a lot of research on what you're doing, in the field that you're getting into. And I think we've got that covered. We've done a lot of research. We've talked to different people, and we've looked at a lot of different business models, and I think we're on the right track with this. So, that's just one avenue that we're going down. So, I look forward to this, and keep people posted as we go along and how this venture is going. So,
yep. One podcast they're going to see us ripping our hair out, and then the next one we're going to see George going to be jumping for joy and hardly staying in their seat. So hopefully more of the jumping for joy than the other. But
something that I'm really excited about is going out to the Savage Syndicate on Thursday in Dana Point, California.
That's going to be an experience.
Yeah, it is going to be an experience. I can't wait to meet these guys.
So tell the people what this is.
Okay, so this is called the Savage Syndicate. It's put on by Josh Brisbane. He's out in Dana Point, California, and it's basically being hard to kill, teaching yourself. They're going to be teaching us basically, how to prevent, bad things from happening to your families, getting mugged, robberies, burglaries, those kind of things. And it's, how to prevent that, but also if you find yourself in a position where, somebody's pulled a knife or a gun on you, or you're in a really bad situation, a parking garage, a dark parking lot or something, and, what are you going to do? So these guys, we've got some professional UFC guys out there that are going to be doing this. So I'm really excited out, to go out there and meet these guys. For me, it's more of a networking event because, I think I've had a life of training of kind of what we're going into. I spent a lot of my life kind of dealing with that stuff. So, it's more for me, it's going out there. Mike Fallett's going to be out there. He's my book publisher. He's helped me a lot. So I'm very excited to meet him. And I don't know who else is going to be out there, but just to go for the experience is a big one for me.
Well, and the physical training is great. And I think the biggest thing that people are going to get out of it is, a lot of people just need confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence can come from, being able to talk to somebody and ask them out on a date, to then be able to defend yourself, to all kinds of stuff. And so, this is just one avenue of building confidence for maybe somebody that doesn't quite have it, or, we all go sort of into an instinctual, I don't know what you would call that, our inner bear or beast or whatever that is, when we have trying times. But to be able to have the proper training behind that, it's going to be really cool in that, just that physical realm, but then also being like, maybe, you don't want to walk around in the streets paranoid all the time.
No.
That something's going to go on, but to know that you sort of have that reactive, instinctual training that, something were to go awry, that you're comfortable. And I don't think anybody just walks around and just, paranoid about everything, because I think that'd be a poor way to live. But,
right.
It's just unfortunate that we're living in a society that that deems that we need these kind of trainings, and I think it's important. And I'm really excited to see what we're gonna experience, what we're gonna learn. Physical toughness to mental toughness to challenges here. I heard there might be a killer ice bath involved, which I am all for. Yeah, I can't wait to dive right into that, and I don't know, it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah, well. One thing I'm a little bummed out about is it looks like it's going to be raining out the whole time we're out there. So
no beaching.
Yeah, that's all right. The water doesn't change that much. So I'm definitely going to go for a swim for sure. I'm looking forward to the whole thing. So
yeah, this thing is being held by a Muay Thai center, correct? That's what this is?
It's Peaceful Warrior Jiu-Jitsu is where it's being put on at. So I don't know a whole lot of details about it. I just know that, we've got a meet and greet, which Friday night, that'll be a chance for us to meet and, have dinner with some of the people that are putting it on, and pretty much everybody. And then Saturday and Sunday are going to be, getting down and dirty, getting on the mats, I
know. On Friday night, we're going to Mexican food, so load us up with a bunch of tacos before you go and whoop our butts.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll definitely have to get back with everybody and kind of let everybody know what went on with that and the experience. So I think we'll have a lot more stuff to bring out whenever we get back. So
yeah, and then when do we have a published date for your book?
Well, I got a email today, and she was going to send me the book over, but it still had a watermark on it. So they had to redo that. So she's given me a couple days. But I'm hoping, I told her that I had this deal out in New Orleans on the 6th. So they're trying to get it out before that. So I'm really hoping that I get it, at least it hits the market before the 6th. I'm hoping maybe the 3rd or 4th. So.
And that event on the 6th, that's your first real speaking gig, isn't it?
I'm pretty excited about that. So
do you know how much they give you a time block?
How long you get? I got 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That's a lot of content you can get.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I know it'll go by quick. So,
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm already, preparing for that because, I'm going to be in a, I'm going to be way outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to tell you that.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
people, the people that are there are these guys are some high end players. So I'm just really excited that I got the opportunity to be there with these guys. So
I think what's really exciting is that you're going to be able to tie in that, you're going to talk to a bunch of, storage business owners and, builders and manufacturers and fabricators and all that. But, how you're going to, transition that in of, the whole premise behind your book of, recognizing yourself and fighting those things that, people struggle with or that individual struggles with all the time, and how you can break away from that, and how you can sort of tie that into that business portion. And I really hope that what you have to say for those guys really resonates and
yeah,
kind of starts a whole thing for you. And next thing you know, you're
yeah.
going to be speaking all over the place.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I'd like to be able to get out, put my message out there to people, and go out and help people that have struggled down these gone down the same roads and struggled with the same things I've done. So that's kind of been the whole reason behind the book and kind of everything that I do. Now I want to take my experiences and use them to help other people that are struggling, and how can I help people get out of this, get out of the rut, deal with addiction, and help them take the first steps into starting their own business, moving forward, getting past those fears, because that's the biggest one right there.
Yeah, and I think that we could cover a ton of topics, but I would love to see, like, when these come out, that, people are posting and asking questions that give us topics that we can address specifically. And, we're not going to sit here and try and claim that we're experts by any means, but I mean, I'm pretty sure between the two of us that we have some type of input or, something that we can say that maybe keeps the conversation going, and hopefully some words can resonate, and maybe there's just something you can relate with and realize that you're
Right.
not the only one to,
Hmm.
maybe just some wise words. Because I mean, we all know, we've heard the saying that it could come out of 99 different mouths the same exact thing, but it's only the one time
Yeah.
that it resonates with something. And we'd love to see some interaction, because I
Right.
think when you're doing a podcast, you're wanting people to be engaged with it and watch it. And we can get some actual questions from people that we can, drive some conversations with. And maybe we could do something where we get them live to call in. That might
Yeah.
be really cool. So I think this could go really far.
Yeah.
It's just a start.
Yeah. This is just a start. I think this is going to be, the start of many. I don't know what it's gonna come out to, but I think there's going to be a lot coming out in this year in 2023. This is going to be I think a great year for a lot of stuff happening, and so I think building a platform to help people, and I think that's going to be huge in helping me become more successful at what I do by helping others, and everybody that I can see that is, moving forward and, becoming successful. That's just, helps me.
And
So,
that consistency is going to go great. I mean, we talked earlier about trust, and how a lot of
mhm,
people are just losing that trust, just naturally,
right.
as we seem to be progressing as a society, that we need to somehow get back. And I think it's that consistency, because I mean, you've known, and we don't have to go into that, but I mean, just in last previous business transactions that you've had before, of just, somebody that spits the right game, and you think that you have all the trust in the world, and then that
Right.
was an absolute lie.
Yeah.
And and that turned into a
Cost
whole
us.
nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. Still kind of dealing with the back end of that, even though I've kind of pretty much let it go, but I still got still a little bit of dealing with that. So,
Yeah, and
but
and
yeah, it's left a horrible taste, and it has made me look at doing things differently, because my whole intent when I got brought into that was to uh, help other people. I saw that I could benefit, make money, um, you know, change my quality of life, and so I shared that with people, and found out that that wasn't the case. That it was a big lie, and so and it hurt. It hurt. It hurt some of my close friends, because it was their family that when you have family that can mislead you that bad.
Yeah.
So, but it's making me look at things a little different, and it's also made me a little bit more reluctant to, share, something unless I, know 100%. I'm not gonna share something. One thing I learned out of that is I was willing to take a risk, and I don't think a lot of people, even though they took a risk, they didn't realize that they weren't ready to take that same kind of risk. Me, I'll take risk all day long, and I'll recover. Some way I'll recover, but a lot of people didn't have that same ability to just recover and say, you know what, I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna do something different, and I'm gonna, let this behind me. So there's a few people that were hurt pretty good over the deal. So.
And that's not all done. So we're not trying to say that everybody's got 100% burn, that they're, that restitution and that it's going to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it has. I'm glad that started. And fortunately those people had to feel the wrath of that. But at the same time, they'll get their good karma back, because, they really went into that with good intentions, and it just didn't pan out for them, which was a bummer.
Well, and that's all right, but that's what we do is we, if something doesn't work, we, go down a different road, and we keep trying, we keep going into different avenues. And I think, especially in the last maybe year, 2 years, I've got into some areas that I never even would have thought that would have been, even possible for me. They were not even on my radar. But to go down these avenues and explore these ventures is great, and I'm super stoked about it. And
well, it broadens the horizons. I mean, I never thought that back in October that I'd be doing a play, like I'd be involved in a play and have a major role inside of a play. I never thought that would be part of the deal. And so I think that's what's great about us, is that it's just like hey, we're not going to jump into a stupid idea, but if it's just something to just grab experience and just have a great time doing it, and make people laugh and make people smile and help them out, that's really the most fulfilling goal. And that's exactly what I got out of it. Yeah. And now what we're going to try out for Jekyll and Hyde, when it comes out. So we'll see what happens with that, but it should be a really good time.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it. We'll wrap it up here, but keep looking for our podcasts, and we're going to be here to help people. We're in our community. We're starting in our community. We've got some resources, and we're here to help people become the best versions of themselves they can be. So we'll be jumping on the scene, and we'll be working with some of our local people. Adrian from SECO News. He's a great guy. I got some stuff going on with him. He's getting ready to. He's kind of opening up some new ventures too. So there'll be some music, some live music, some entertainment, art galleries, and stuff like that. We're trying to bring some stuff to this local place. So look for more on the Breakout Podcast. And so, anything else to say?
No.
All right.
I had a great time.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.